We're live.
Let's grab my glasses.
Grab your glasses, man. We're live. We're live. We can be a bit louder, I think. Oh, that's very loud. That's loud. That's loud. That's fucking loud. Okay, that's good. That's better. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Welcome to Radio Ravrand.
Hello, radio listeners.
Hello,
Hello.
radio listeners.
And watchers. Yes.
And watchers, yes.
Hello.
Hello. I'm here with Flo. This is the second edition of Radio Ravrand. Super great that you're here. Just a quick announcement for everyone. Next week, on Thursday, we have another General Assembly at 7. It's important.
Yes, it is.
Mm.
It's important.
Yeah,
yes.
you hear it here, folks. Be there. It'll be on the train somewhere. So we can hang. We can talk about our situation, get updates on our legal stance, on the legality of it. And I think it would be super good if we all meet and, have a talk about what to do about this. Having a struggle with the door in between. Door struggle, duo struggle, class struggle.
Houses, man.
Houses. It's a housing issue.
It's a housing issue. That's a housing issue.
Yeah. Hello, Flo.
Hello.
You are our guest.
I am.
That's great.
And all the hosts are ill or gone, I think.
Yeah,
So
it's just you and me now.
Yes, it's you and me.
In the lion's cage.
The only people left over.
Fuck.
Yeah.
yeah. Standing.
This.
You want to show people around, actually?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. You wanna grab the.
So
welcome to my room. Hello, everyone. This is in the greenhouse.
Wow.
I can see what the camera is showing you. So this is all the stuff on my wall. It's a bunch of old family pictures or collages I made.
Is this your family?
Yeah. So most of these. So like that man making some coffee over there is my great uncle, and right next to it with the guitar is my regular uncle. And this etch was made by my with the accordion player was made by my great grandfather.
Wow. Okay.
So there's all sorts of stuff going on there.
And is that also your family in there? Because I know your grandfather played.
No. That's just a random sketch of
random sketch, right?
An etching, I think.
Ah.
No, my father is only vaguely on here on like an old Sinterklaas photo, but I don't think it's very visible on the camera. Yeah. And then that's the rest of my room. There you go. I'm gonna hold this straight.
Wow.
That's my area where you read. And then there's like books. A bunch of books I like reading, and records. As you can see, I was listening to Tears for Fears and Dory Previn before. And then over there is like behind there is my desk, and then I can have a little office over the like around the. Oh, I shouldn't turn this too much. Yeah, you want to show my office? It's a really beautiful desk. No, it's a hidden desk. Yeah, you can see that there's a desk there.
Yeah. I see it very clearly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a really nice lamp. I really like that lamp. And then over here's the kitchen. So like, there's like, you got everything here. This is a great place to spend the end of the world. Just wouldn't be able to shower ever.
But since it's the end of the world,
Yeah, but then why would you want to shower at the end of the world?
Exactly.
It's like, no one's gonna smell you anymore.
There's no one left to stink for.
No. There's no one left to smell good for. I think
That's the only reason we shower is for other people.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for having me on as a guest.
Yeah. Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed this tour of my room.
I did, at least.
Yeah.
It's a really nice space, actually.
Thank you.
It seems like you're very connected to your family.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. They're great. I love my family. Yes. It's a cuddly bunch.
Yeah. But also, like older family members. No, these are old pictures I see here.
Yeah, it's more. It's a good. It's like a good sense of being connected, I guess. But in general, like outside of my grandparents, I don't really hang out with my family much.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that's right. It's mostly just my parents and my sister.
Yeah,
that I'm
yeah.
really close with. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a thing for old people?
Do I? What is that? What is a thing? What's a thing
I
for
don't
older?
mean sexually.
You were looking at this very like seductive. Do you have a thing? A thing for old people?
No, I mean like aesthetically somehow. Like
Oh yeah. Well,
culturally,
I mean,
thing.
there's like a lot of dark wood here, as
Mm.
you can see.
Yeah.
I like classical style.
Mm.
And I like old people because usually they're photographed in situations where they are like vibe.
Mm, mm.
Yes, I do like that.
Huh.
I had a cousin who got a new house, and then he had a beautiful wooden kitchen. It was like oak and orange. And it was disgusting, but it was so nice. And it's like, oh, the first thing I'm gonna do is tear out that kitchen. I was like, you are committing so many crimes.
So many. I can't begin.
Yes, I can. I don't even. Yes,
Yeah.
give me that kitchen.
Against humanity.
Against
art.
style. Yeah.
Against style.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was a fashion crime.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
So this is your countermeasure.
Yeah, it's just that I absorb. Well, I mean, almost everything in this room was essentially free.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I got it like on Marktplaats. Is when old people die, nobody wants their stuff anymore. Pick up their old stuff. It's free and it's beautiful and it'll last you forever.
That's really handy.
It's really useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, this thing is amazing. I like it, and I could put my record player on there. It's perfect. Yeah,
Very cute.
I like my stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I think it's good to be connected in that way.
Yeah.
To the things you surround yourself with, you know, like yeah. Do you want to tell us a bit about your project?
I do.
Kijk van op zolder.
Kijk van op zolder.
Kijk van op zolder.
So I review old records. I actually have a stack over there. I can show them. In a little bit.
That would be nice.
Like these are the. Wait, I'm gonna go get them for like 2 seconds.
Cheers. Waiting music. Boom, 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 boom.
I can also grab
Oh,
like the box, the box.
This is serious, folks. Aye. It's a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right, I do something called Kijk van op zolder, which means Grandpa, look, I found in the attic. And it's me listening to a record that I've never heard of. That's usually an artist, a Dutch artist, almost always, that is totally forgotten. And I usually am very intrigued by what this record looks like. Because if we're talking about style and design, records, like covers, design choices that are made there are amazing. And often they look very hideous, but also like, who is this man who is advertised as if everyone knows them, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, Bob Scholte, you must live under a rock if you don't know Bob Scholte. It's and then I'm like, I want to know what this is, and then I listen to it, and I post a review on my website, and I then have someone pose with the records because there's a bunch of beautiful people living here, and put that on Instagram. And then people give me hearts, and then I feel good about myself. Yes, that's the idea.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at this online, you have, for example, here, this is one I recently did, which is Ron Brandsteder.
Of course.
I want to so I'm going to show you this. There you go. Good old Ron. Wow. And I want you,
Marianne.
So long, Marianne. I want you to just like, if you're not seeing this, I just want you to picture a man on stairs, like stairs that are like a gala where there's like feathered women walking upstairs, like showbiz, like da 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 da. But he's alone in like the remnants of a party, and he's sitting there, and the look on his face. What is the look on his face saying?
He looks a bit like, you know, the prince that tries to get the princess and then leaves a fucking shoe on the fucking stairs.
Yeah.
He looks like he's just been left there.
He looks like he's been abandoned.
Yeah, he's alone, and then someone comes in, and he knows they know.
He knows they know.
You
I
know?
always found him looking a little bit like, ooh. Like, ooh.
Yeah, there's a bit of disgust there.
There's a bit of disgust there, like
Yeah.
weirdly. And like my favorite thing about this record, which is called Not Alone, is the fact that he is clearly alone in the remnants of a party. And so the review of this is, I think, is scheduled for like a couple of weeks from now. But my own impression is that the actual title of this record is "Don't Leave Me Alone," but it is the "Don't Leave Me" part is just all in his eyes. It's all in his eyes. But it's called Not Alone because he only sings duets with famous people from the Netherlands that you've never heard of, like Jose. It just says duets with Jose, as if I'm supposed to immediately be like, oh, Jose of this, of course. He also sings a song with André van Duin, the famous Dutch comedian, who we still know, a song which did not age well, because they're like doing Japanese accents, and I think that's about as far as I'm gonna go in my description.
Okay, yeah.
And
Thanks for that.
it's like this is one case, and there's just gazillions. So like these, like I got a little stack here of the records I reviewed. So we got like Jan Blazer, who looks amazing. Like there we are. He looks like he's okay, glare.
Yeah, that's good.
He looks like he's going to tell you a really dirty joke. He's like your grandpa being like, "Ah, kids, listen to this one."
Or like a priest, that's just a bit too happy.
Yes.
Something's up.
Clearly. But Jan Blazer, incidentally, didn't know this, but I researched him for the project. Is one of the most famous Dutch comedians who ever lived. And he was also an actor, and he played also in some of the best performing movies and TV shows ever. And we've all forgotten them.
That's so weird that our generation has no.
But it's just, like this is something that fascinates me, is the cultural amnesia of the Netherlands. But I just think we don't really care about culture that much. We just don't really give a shit. Like, that's like, okay, cool.
You mean specifically about our own culture?
Yeah, I mean specifically like media, like performing artists. There's only like a very slim little cream layer of people that we remember, and the rest are just dependent on whether your parents liked them when they were kids. That is it.
Is that a specifically Dutch thing for you?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, I like if you look, for example, at France, they are like culturally insane. If you look at what is really interesting about kind of like Britain is that they have a much more of like they like really like poets. There's a lot of countries that have like a national poet, and everyone knows the damn poet. And it's like, oh, if you're a Scotsman, you recite like one Robert Burns poem, probably one, or like at least a part of a Robert Burns poem, but you know who it is. If you did say like a Dutch person, like Vondel or something, like they're like something about a park. Like it's just, there's nothing. We just don't have it, but we just don't care enough. Yeah, it's really funny. And America is like even more insane in this regard. But I mean that's even further away. But it's interesting. I wonder how that is in Germany. If you're listening to this and you know what this is like in Germany, I'd love to know. But I have the feeling that even the Schlager singers are like held in a little bit of like cute regards.
There's some sense of them.
Yeah,
after
like
they
a little
pass.
bit of what's the guy's name that sings Griechische Wein? No, forgot his name. Udo Jürgens. Like people probably remember Udo Jürgens. I know who that is. Even if they don't know a song, they know who it is. And here, if you like Jan Blazer, no. But then again, it's also flexible because people still know who Wim Sonneveld is or Toon Hermans, even if you don't know their songs. So things do get through on the other end.
Yeah.
But it's not if you want to establish your identity as a teenager and you're an American, you're going to listen to like old 70s rock, whatever, something your parents listened to or didn't listen to but were in the age group. You don't, if you're Dutch, you're not going to be like, oh, you know what my thing is? Toontje lager. or het goede doel. Like I'm all up in het goede doel. The only exception, which is weird, is doe maar. The only exception. Doe maar survived for some reason, but that is Little Cream Layer. Okay, yeah, but they're the one exception that proves the rule.
Yeah. That is really weird.
That is really weird. Yes.
I guess we are unique in this way, but I also recognize it in myself, that like, I was listening to composers a lot and like, this is art music.
Right.
And then I found out suddenly there's a huge Dutch tradition.
Of course.
Amazing shit.
Yes.
And I had no idea. No. Like after years I found out.
Wait, but like what? Like in composers or?
Yeah, like art music. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know, like this tradition of like Jorrit Habit going back,
like what?
I don't know, like this, like there was a great electronic music scene here,
right, in the last century, like in the 60s or something.
Yeah, like at the ages of electronic music, like in the 50s.
Okay.
And stuff like this.
Do you have like names, like artists or composers?
Yes. Like Tom Disseveld, like Jan Boerman.
Tom Disseveld, Jan Boerman.
I don't know, even composers like Ten Holt made electronic music, like these sort of great composers that we do remember, but we don't listen to their electronic repertoire.
That is interesting. What is also interesting, I will say, is that you are very likely to, like, if you talk to your parents or anyone above the age of 40, 50, they will likely know most of these. Like, maybe not the electronic artists that I'm sure about. This is all news to me, but I love like being educated in this realm. But like if I say, like I said to my mom, I got a Ron Brandsteder plaat, and she was like, "Oh, he can't sing for shit." Like they all know these people. Jan Blaser had a really famous carnival song. It's called "My Aunt Has an Elephant," and it has like a little. It's a carnival song, so you can sing along. Yeah, and that's people will know it, or it's in your Spotify carnival list.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah. So what do you think this is then? That somehow this knowledge that is present with the people that raised us, doesn't get through. Like, is it some obsession that we young people have with het buitenland, like the international world, and not ourselves? What is it?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's a really interesting. This is gonna probably occupy my mind for at least a decade more, because like now I'm like finally publishing all these reviews and doing this more active, and also discovering that a lot of the ideas you have about this aren't necessarily true. Like if you talk to older people, they know a bunch of stuff. But why do young people not know? I guess Dutch culture just isn't cool. Like it's decidedly uncool. Like the reason I dig all these records is because it's so like, just, I don't even know the words for this in English, but it's knullig. It's houtje touwtje. It's sort of like awkward. It's deeply awkward. It's all like if you. This is a record. I'm just taking the first one of the stack. This is the Chicos. This is cowboy music. You can read my review of this.
Oh fuck yeah!
On the Opa kijk ik vol op zolder.nl. Or if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's okivoz, like AOKIVOZ. But this is a record of cowboy songs, most of them translated, but a lot of them also unique material. It's a record from the 70s, but these were people that were really famous in the 50s. Like in the late 40s, early 50s, they were singing cowboy songs. And they're like, no one in their right mind who is younger than 20, who is younger than 40, sees this and is like, s'avonds als het kampvuur brandt. Like that is like it's just, if I translate this, you might think like, oh, okay, the old saloon sounds nice. But if you say the oude saloon, you're like, also the idea of a Dutch cowboy is just inherently stupid. There's nothing cool. If you're Dutch and you dress like a cowboy, you're just weird. There's nothing, absolutely nothing cool. Or you're like from, I guess like from Twente, like this guy who goes to like conventions or something. Like this old guy is like, ja, so ik ben een kooiboy. They also say kooiboy and not cowboy. Like, ik hoor een lied over de prairie klinken. It's just, I don't know. There's just something awkward about the Dutch language, but it's also really funny and really clever and really flexible. It's a great language to rhyme in, especially if it's like light verse.
Mm, mm.
Like this is really funny.
Yeah, but that's so weird also because I really recognize what you're saying. Like when I listen to this record that you just had on, for example,
Yeah.
I feel this like, oh my god, like fuck, this is so horrible. And it's deeply part of our heritage, and we
Yes.
don't engage with it at all.
No, it's like
What the fuck? Why? Why do I have that feeling actually? Because that's my problem. People used to be really into this.
yeah.
Something happened to me.
I don't know. Maybe it's also getting older, and when you're getting older, you start to like. I think there is a trend. My grandfather did this when he got older. Is he got really into genealogy? So he really wanted to know like where he came from and who his mother's grandparents were, and they were like tracing the lineage back to like as far as they could find, and they'd go to archives.
Oh wow.
And I think it's a lot of like that's a retirement project. It's something people do when they retire because they got like finally all this time to discover where they came from. And I think when you get older, you start to lose the feeling of rebellion against your own culture, where you're trying to define yourself by means of contrast, and you're starting to like embrace it a little bit more. Plus, there's just like we just think Dutch music is unintelligent in general. Like that's the general. So there's like this really slim top of like the of Dumar or whatever that penetrates there, or whatever your parents listen to. Often it's Jaap Fischer for some reason. Survived in the cassette decks. Weirdly, weird that this one guy survived. Like it's like I didn't know this, but if you're like, oh yeah, Fischer, I know. I'm like, that's weird. He didn't have hits. He had 2 records. And then he disappeared, and then he returned 10 years later and had a different name and made shitty music. But then there's like a whole bunch of nothing, and then there's like volksmuziek, which is like, yeah, Walter Cruz, Jannes, Django Wagner, Peter Baines. I don't know. There's a whole pantheon of like men that are overweight, standing with a beer and like doing this. Singing like that and like really low, like, oh. And only André Hazes escaped that somehow as being like the one acceptable incarnation of that, but the rest is like, if you listen to that, you're trash. And if you even identify yourself as someone who listens to that, you're absolute trash. Which is odd. It's odd that this is the dichotomy we made, but that's what there is. Yeah.
But then how is it for you to start this project knowing that there is this, cultural veneer about this topic, like this thing that is not okay for most people our age?
I don't really feel like I don't really have that feeling anymore. I don't think I ever really had it.
Yeah, so you yourself don't feel that way?
No, I don't. Music. When I hear Dutch music, I don't think like, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it when I was a teenager, definitely. Definitely had it.
But it went away at some point.
Yeah, like, but I mean, I think it's always been a little bit of part of my upbringing because my parents listened to quite some Dutch music. My parents don't listen to music at all. Okay. It's always just silence or people are talking, but there's no background music. And if anything is listened to, it's some folk music. My parents used to listen to the Seekers a lot. Or just some Dutch ditty. Like, I don't know, like, what's this? Well, for example, we had like a Donkey Shocking CD when I was a child, and Donkey Shocking was like a cabaret group from the 60s, and they made really funny songs. And like they made the toilet song, which I thought was incredible because I was 8 years old and it was about poopy, and that's fucking blew my mind. And the when there was like an open stage at my primary school, I was like, I want to do the toilet song, and I was so like this was just there because we had a CD player and that CD was there. And it was there because my parents didn't like that sort of music. I just didn't really play it that much. But it means that if you come into contact with it, if you're young, it sort of like finds its way in your brain. It's that and Sinterklaas. Like Sinterklaas just made homemade poetry, making fun, stupid jokes in rhyme form, a tradition for me. And so now I can't really. I love Sinterklaas. Like it's just a lot of stupid like. It's all fart jokes in my family. A little bit of sex jokes, maybe. A lot of like in crowd humor, and it's like, yeah, you just go there. I go to my parents' house for a day. My sister's there, and my grandparents, when they're still alive, were there. And then you would just spend the whole day reciting poems that other people in the room made. And then the gifts were secondary because usually everyone handed in a grocery list because no one knew what to ask for Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So that really like I guess cultivated like more of like, yeah, this is nice.
Yeah. Like this homey sort of
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah, it's sort of come on. It is really fun to write a poem for someone,
Yeah.
especially if it's like working with the rhythm. Yeah, that's when you start to love the language again. If you're like, oh, cool, I can make a little fart joke in there. You can squeeze it in.
Yeah.
Out.
So, oh. I see what you did there. Did you just compose a little poem for us? Oh, great stuff. Really interesting.
Yeah.
I would love to hear some music you like.
Yeah, so the problem. So we decided what we wanted to do was play a record, which we could hypothetically do.
Yeah, and then we'll hold these mics up to the speakers.
But I also can play guitar. It's like I think that's what we're suggesting, right?
If you have a song of this thing,
yeah,
that you can play.
So what I do sometimes is translate these songs to English to like. So the long-term plan of this, which is one of my many unfinished projects.
Yeah.
Tune in 2 weeks from now for another unfinished project. You never know. Please get other guests.
But every 2 weeks we can.
Yeah, we can like. What are you up to now? Well, this half a collage.
I'm into old cheese.
Damn. So the long-term project would be to like every once in a while go to like an open mic night and then be like, hey, Dutch music. Well, neither do the Dutch, but here's some examples of what we're all missing out on, and it's fun because these are like usually the songs that I like. So like because if you listen to these records, sometimes you're like, this is shit. I'm really happy we forgot about this, and sometimes you're like, why did we forget about this? This is amazing. So I usually take the songs I really like and try to if they're suitable to translate, because that also doesn't always work.
Yeah.
So I can play that for you if you want.
I would like that very much, and I think we're all very interested now in this music.
Yeah. Yes, I can. I'm gonna make some space. I was just browsing through these records.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, that was a shitty one.
Yeah. Your great love and hatred.
Oh man, but I love all of these records, even the shitty ones. You're like, oh my god, this is so beautifully shitty.
There's like a certain charm in that, like.
Yeah, I mean, look, someone spent time and energy in making this. There was like a company that was like, you, Jan Boerenzoe, Jan Boezeroei. That was a guy. Jan Boezeroei, you're gonna be our next star. We're gonna like. And then you listen to it, you're like, this is what they were like investing in. It's horrible. Yeah. Okay. I'll grab my stuff.
Yeah. We'll like take 2 minutes to change over. Okay.
I do. Wait.
It's channel 3.
Now that we're talking.
Yeah. Maybe in the meantime, I can show some of your beautiful records.
Yeah, you can. Wait, here's these don't have a sleeve on them. So I'll just grab you a bunch.
Yeah, and then we can.
Then you can just reply to these.
Oh yeah. Bob Scholte. Beter dan best. Yeah,
it's like it makes you smile also. Right?
It makes you smile. He looks like a Catholic. The Mountie Show. I get that you're visually interested in this.
Right?
First.
Yeah. Of course.
And the music comes. Yeah. Oh god, look at this man. Can I show you?
Yeah, what is that? Oh no, banana juice.
Bomans. Met een glimlach.
Fragmenten uit het radioprogramma. Problemen verdwijnen, maar de kopstukken verschijnen.
God, that's the title? Jesus.
That's the fucking title. Oh, this is kingly. This is royal music. Oh god. Beatrix en Wilhelmina.
Juliana.
Juliana. Oh god. Fuck them.
Even that cultural heritage part is like
Yeah, it's lost on me. Yeah? This goes very deep. Reinhard May. Als een dag van toen.
Yeah, so some of these I listen to like I don't really know them, and some of these I know a little bit. Reinhard May is German, but he sings in Dutch, and he has the strangest accent. You're like, he sounds Spanish almost. Okay, so I can sing a song, but before I do that, I can show you one of the most hideous album covers I've ever seen. I love this record. It's beautiful. It is the stupidest one. It's one of my favorites. It's yeah, I'm gonna show it to you first so you can see how stupid this looks. And then you can show it to the camera.
He's super famous now.
He is, yeah. Oh, you know these people, of course.
Just him, actually.
Yeah, but she made like a popular classical music.
Oh, like André Rieu.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Take a look at this. So I want you to just this attempt at a smile that just fails so hard. Like, it's like, what is this? What are their faces? It's like, yeah.
Like they were 2 hours into this shoot.
Oh man, and they were like, they had like all these pictures, and none of them were like properly smiling. Like, okay, we'll just use this one. I'll just use fucking. Yeah, give me more teeth now. Oh.
And this is like our national director now. Like, he's one of the greatest conductors we've produced.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
That's amazing. That didn't know.
I bet he started as a violinist. Wow. Nice.
But you know this because of your like what you study, right?
Yeah. He conducts good orchestras around the country, and also outside the country, actually.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Well, back then, he was just a lonely bow tie wearing man that wasn't able to smile.
Humble little yap.
Humble little yap.
Okay.
Stick it on the pile.
Stick it on the pile.
One
stuff.
problem of having this hobby is just every time I see a record like this, I have to buy it if it's not too expensive. Which also taught me that the dirty record circuit in the Netherlands is still very, very profitable. If you find like a record that's like a Dutch record with like a naked lady on the front, you can get like 10 or 20 euros for that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like that's people still love that shit.
How did you find that out?
Because I wanted to buy one. I bought the low plan, and the guy was like, "It's 15 euros." And I was like, "What? All these things cost like 50 cents." And he's like, "Yeah, but not this one, man. I got regular customers coming for Wie warmt me op, or like Who warms me up, or a peep through the keyhole." Like those kinds of, and they're all like stupid songs about men ejaculating in their pants or whatever.
God.
Yeah, that exists.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so how do you want to do this with okay.
Yeah. I think we can have 3 ones here, and
All right.
I will gain them, and it'll sound all right.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna lean over closer to the mic. This first song is a song.
You don't need to.
I don't have to do that. Oh, that's great. This first song is a song called "The Ballad of John William," or "The Ballade van Jan Willem." In Dutch, it was from it comes from a record by a man called Peter Schreiber, who made an amazing record that everyone forgot about. He had one minor hit in the 70s, I believe. And this was one of the best songs on that record. On a record which is like really solid. Like that's definitely the best record I found in the junk pile thus far. And I translated this into English for your listening pleasure. John William was a butcher's boy, 20 years was he. Bloodstained apron on, he worked in a butchery. It was there he slaughtered cows, it was quite the career. But one day he said to himself, let's kick it up a gear. He grabbed a butcher's knife and killed his father dead. A beauty of a sight, he thought, everything was read over and done, said John William happily. He couldn't stop himself no more after he'd had a taste. But he didn't have a target that he could lay to waste. He didn't have no siblings, his mother was long dead. Yet he needed to find someone right for a cleaver in the head. Right then the health inspector walked in through the door. One quick chop, and after that the poor man was no more. Over and done, said John William happily. Scroll. It didn't take too long before the cops came after him. John was arrested swiftly and brought in for questioning. He confessed to everything, no lies did William tell. So he was charged with murder and then put into a cell. Yet the officer who brought William lunch that afternoon was murdered by William, who was armed with a spoon. Over and done, said John William happily. It seemed unlikely for John to evade a guilty plea, but his lawyer argued that he suffered from insanity. A sane man wouldn't do such things, Your Honor. Don't you see? My client is the victim of a broken family. The judge ruled in his favor, and instead of a prison cell, John was sent to a clinic for the mentally unwell. Over and done, said John William happily. A year of consultations, pills, and treatments of the sort led to an evaluation by the clinic's medical board. They judged that our John William was as sane can be. He was to be put back into the world immediately. John opened up a butcher shop in a big city abroad. His business is doing well, but his meat tastes kind of odd. Tastes really odd. Over and done, said John William happily. That's the Ballad of John William. Yeah, and that also in Dutch, it also sounds good. It's amazing. Sounds way better because can't take credit for that. Here's another song. This is a song called Waar ga je heen? Where will you go? And this is by a man who is known as the Bob Dylan of Sweden. It's Cornelis Vreeswijk, who is there just affectionately known as Cornelis. Also interesting, so if we're talking about cultural heritage, right? No one remembers Cornelis Vreeswijk except for a handful of people whose parents listened to Cornelis Vreeswijk. Like a friend of mine who was like, yeah, I know all of his shit. But if you go to Sweden and you say, Cornelis, it's like saying, it's like saying, do you know Bob Dylan to an American? It's just, of course. And they all know like a Cornelis Vreeswijk song. But we don't. But I will change that for you with this translation of a song which I think he himself translated from his own Swedish version into Dutch, and which I have translated into English. Yeah. Move my leg. There we go. Where will you go with no boots, with no shoe? Where will you go, my dear? Mother, I seek something real, something true, far across the frontier. You'll find no riches in silver or gold. Why must you leave your home? Mother, where to? I don't know, I don't know. But I feel that I must roam. A sad and miserable person am I, all through the day and night. Poor do I live and poor I shall die. What sort of life have I? Though I might fall, I get back up and go. No time to sit and wait. No hope above and no hope below. Such is a drifter's fate. Where will you go without love, my dear? It is around, you know. One's day will come for each of us, the one who loves you so. Love is beautiful, oh, love is great, but not too long for me. For love is also an iron cage, and I'd rather be free. Where will you go with no boots, with no shoe? Where will you go, my dear? Mother, I seek something real, something true, far across the frontier, far across the frontier, far across the frontier. Yeah. You want one more song?
Yeah, one more song.
One more song.
Yeah.
So this is a really sad song. I really, really like this one. I can see whether I can transpose a little bit. So this is a song which is also interesting. It's from this record. I can show us. I have too many things in case you didn't notice that already. It's from a record called Van Dichtbij by Connie van der Bos. Also completely forgotten. One man in the Netherlands hasn't forgotten and dedicated like an entire website to archiving everything Connie van der Bos ever. So for always in our minds and hearts. I got this record from a friend of mine who bought it at Waterloopplein and said, "This is for your project. I want you to review this," and I did. And it is trite. That is the best way to describe it. It is weird. Yeah, just so like the equivalent of Live Life Love signs. It's like they're all love songs, but they're sort of like but there's some beauty in those statements if you're willing to look past the cheesiness. And they're all translations. We do that a lot, but not this song, which was called "The Solace of Your Voice," the troost van je stem, which was made by a man who was written and composed by a man named Dick Ritter, who is absolutely nobody, but he has a website and he seemed like a swell dude. If you go to like dickritter.nl, I think is his website. And I translated this into English, and it's a really beautiful song. My words are poorly chosen. I wanna say it right, but I seem to talk in platitudes, and all I say sounds trite. I don't know how to comfort you. I think I lost my touch. You're suffering from our waning love, and all I can do is watch. I know that you struggle with this being our home. Oh, my life, it draws me outward, but you remain alone. The pressures of my daily life I don't want to put on you. I just want to make you happy, but I don't know if I still do. That's why I give you what you want whenever you please. I make love to you all night and say I'll never leave. But when you're lying next to me upon your pillowcase, I see my lies reflected in the aging of your face. It's when I feel so lonely, wish I knew what to say, and I wish that I could ask you. You are miles away, and in the morning we will rise, and our lives, they will go on like they did today, together and alone. One day one of us decides to leave all this behind. They'll say, we can't go on like this. Our own paths we must find. And I know that I'll feel lonely, and I will regret this choice. I will long for the silence and the solace of your voice. Yeah. Listen. There you go.
Beautiful! Really beautiful.
So there are even beautiful songs to find in the Dutch repertoire.
Yeah.
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 Thank you so much, Flo, for doing this.
Of course.
Great. Wonderful.
My
stuff.
pleasure. Yeah.
Super nice. Yeah. And okay. This was the second Radio Ravorant. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in 2 weeks at 12.
Bye-bye. Peace
Bye.
out.
Peace out.